Less than 4 weeks, that's the countdown to the conference tournaments. I'm Glen Dehmer, and this is Inside the Sun Belt. Middle Tennessee has been rolling along in both men's and women's action, but this past week, men's West co-leader Arkansas State had a chance to slow down the Blue Raiders. The fans at the Murphy Athletic Center were ready for their team to avenge its only conference loss, and the Blue Raiders didn't waste any time. Steal by Bruce Massey, and he lays it in, and it was 12-1 after just 4 minutes. Cameron Golden led the Red Wolves with 15 points, but Middle Tennessee had a mission on this night. Opening possession of the second half, and J.T. Sultan throws it down. The Blue Raiders opened the second half with a 16-2 run, and they cruised from there. Middle Tennessee wins 73-60, their 10th straight win. Then on Saturday, they easily took down Troy 93-41. 5 players scored in double figures, led by Raymond Cintron with 20. That meant that UALR had an opening to take the lead in the West, but first the Trojans had to get past Louisiana Monroe. They took a 36-23 lead at halftime, but the Warhawks battled back. Trey Lindsay hits a pair of trays late in the game, but still trailed 61-58 with less than 2 minutes to play. But Will Neighbors answers with a 3 for UALR. And then moments later, James White puts the exclamation point on the win, his only bucket of the night. UALR wins 70-60 to take the lead in the West. And South Alabama, trying to stay with Middle Tennessee in the East, hosted Florida Atlantic. It was all tied at 31 at halftime. This was a nail-biter. 12 lead changes, 12 ties. Stephen Moody had 16 points and 6 boards, including this slam to tie the game at 65. But with less than a minute to play, Augustine Rubit missed the layup but tipped it back in, and that was the game winner. South Alabama wins 72-71. Rubit had 18 and 5 rebounds to lead the Jaguars. Let's take a look now at the other games from this past week. Middle Tennessee continues to lead in the East, and South Alabama still 3 games behind. In the West, as we mentioned, UALR is back in front. Arkansas State a half a game behind. For the women, Middle Tennessee, it's cruising in conference play, but that all changed Sunday versus Troy. For the first time in school history, the Trojans defeated the Blue Raiders. It took overtime, but behind 27 points and 4 assists from Joanna Harden, the Trojans did it. Ashley Beverly Kelly had 17 points and a career-high 13 rebounds. It all added up to a 74-70 win, only the second conference win of the season for Troy. Western Kentucky had a chance to pull within a game of the East leaders with a win, but first had to get past the West leaders, Arkansas State. It was also a great game. 16 lead changes and 10 ties, like at halftime when it was 37 all. Less than a minute to play, WKU leading 74-73. Jane Morrell takes it to the hoop. It's good, and she's fouled. The 3-point play made it 76-74 Red Wolves. But the Hilltoppers had a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3. Bianca McGee drives to the hoop, but it's blocked by Morrell, and eventually she is fouled by the Toppers. She made the free throws, and Arkansas State wins a big one on the road, 78-74. Morrell led the way with 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. And North Texas entered the week just a game out in the West, but the Mean Green had a tough week. On Saturday, too much Jerica Coley from FIU. Coley, the nation's leading scorer at more than 25 points per game, got 26. In the process, she eclipsed 1,900 points for her career, becoming the 3rd player in school history to accomplish that feat. She also had 4 assists and 4 steals as FIU wins 72-63. Here's this past week's scoreboard for the women. Despite the loss on Sunday, Middle Tennessee continues to lead the East, now 13-2, still a 2.5 game lead over Western Kentucky. In the West, Arkansas State still leads, but now UALR is second, a game and a half behind. North Texas 2 out. Now here's a look at this week's games. First for the men, first place in the West is on the line Thursday as Arkansas State hosts UALR. On Saturday, the Sun Belt Network game of the week has North Texas playing at Troy. It's the same story for the women. First place at stake on Wednesday night as Arkansas State welcomes UALR to Jonesboro. And the baseball season starts on Friday. All 10 teams are in action. And after a coach's poll, here is the preseason All-Sun Belt team. It's headed by preseason pitcher of the year, Chance Cleveland of UALR. The other pitchers are Austin Gomber, Michael Ellis, Jonathan Freebus, and Nat Hill. The position players are led by preseason player of the year, third baseman Logan Pierce of Troy. The rest of the infield includes Mark Nelson, Logan Kirkland, Dustin Jones, and catcher Aramis Garcia. The outfield is Logan Uxa, Trent Miller, Danny Collins, as well as DH Whit Dorsey and utility man Jordan Patterson. FAU, meantime, has been tabbed as the preseason favorites to win the conference, FIU second. And that's your look inside the Sun Belt. I'm Glen Dehmer.